In this episode, we crack open a playing card subscription box and discover the Bicycle Anicca Deck. Take a good look at America's Got Talent finalist magician Shin Lim's latest White Regalia deck and announce the winner of the Helius Sun decks. All of this and more next. Before I became a collector of playing cards, my exposure to them was, like everybody else, limited to poker nights and the rack of assorted decks you find at your local Walgreens. The world of online retail, though, it's really dramatically changed the way we are exposed to and buy playing cards. Now we can scour the web looking for the exact thing we're looking for. Unfortunately, with the addition of convenience, we lost, well, a little sense of mystery. Now you can just go online and search for as many product shots as you could ask for, and in some cases videos, a lot like this one, to show you exactly what it is that you're getting. And look, believe me, a more informed consumer is definitely a happier one, but every once in a while it's nice to be surprised, right? Anyway, welcome everyone to the go-to show for playing card enthusiasts. I am TheGentlemanWake. We've got a great episode in store for you today, and if you have yet to become a sub, we hope you'll consider subscribing. And if you are a subscriber, be sure to hit that notification bell underneath to be notified every time I post a new video. This week we are diving into the world of the subscription box service, specifically the PIP Box Club service, and taking a look at what one of these looks like, and more importantly, what you get when you open one. Be sure to stick around all the way to the end of the video as well for a chance to win a brand new White Regalia deck directly from me. Brainchild of owner and founder of PlayingCardDecks.com, Will Roya, the PIP Box Club is a monthly subscription service that offers a curated selection of playing card decks for a single predetermined price. The decks are sent to you in the blind, in that although they are selected using a strict set of outline parameters that we'll get into a bit later, the actual selection remains a mystery to all those who purchase the box until they receive it and open it. In a lot of ways, the PIP Box Club is similar to other subscription-based box clubs like Loot Crate and the Trunk Club. Will was gracious enough to supply me with a few PIP boxes to review, among them the initial offering, as well as the one that will serve as a framework for this episode, the August box. That most recent PIP box was especially interesting to me as it contained a honestly pretty great selection of decks, one of which wasn't on my radar at all, another of which I was intimately familiar with, and a third I was very pleasantly surprised to see included. The Bicycle Anicca Deck, the Sub Rosa deck, and the White Regalia deck by Shin Lim. We're going to dive into the first and last of these in detail in a bit. Just for reference, the initial PIP box offering, box number 1 so to speak, contained the Bicycle Denim deck, the Bloodlines deck, and the Royal Vortex deck. As a quick overview, Sub Rosa is a USPCC printed deck designed by Cards XIII. The deck features an interesting floral motif on the card backs. The faces are bicycle standard for the most part, with only some small tweaks and of course some recoloration. The most important aspect of the deck is that it handles beautifully. It's a great deck for just about any activity that requires playing cards. It's nice to see it included in the PIP box because I think it's an underrated deck and it'll get a little extra needed attention. As for Sub Rosa, well, some of you have probably seen my wife's review of that deck, which was posted to this channel a couple of months ago. Make sure to watch that if you want to know all the specifics, and also if you want a good laugh. You'll see what I mean. The Bicycle branded Anicca deck, produced by the Card Experiment, was an interesting inclusion in the PIP box and one that I was pretty unfamiliar with. Designed by German-Spanish artist and illustrator Simon Prades, the Anicca deck is really a well-designed deck of playing cards. I visited his website in preparation for this review and was absolutely blown away by the illustrations he's got on there. He's really got an amazing command of color and line work that really lends itself well to deck design. In fact, He's worked on playing cards before, another collaboration with card experiment, the Babel deck. He's also done work for Esquire magazine, Penguin Random House, Bloomberg, and the New York Times, among others. Really, it's a very impressive portfolio. On top of that, the work features some commentary on social and environmental issues that really further elevates it beyond just pretty pictures. The Anika tuck case is pretty standard as far as the construction is concerned, with only the inclusion of metallic inks to stand it out from the basic United States Playing Card Company tuck boxes. Also available in metallic silver, mine is the metallic blue version. The cardstock is white and glossy. The front features the bicycle branding over the image of a woman or girl in a white flowing dress, arms outstretched as if she were leaping or thrown into the air. There's a blue metallic disc behind her that could be read as the sun or the moon. In fact, there are some black spots just above the woman that could either be interpreted as craters on the moon's surface or perhaps even blood erupting from the woman's chest. The darker reading is perhaps made more likely by the inclusion of the two human skulls that flank her at either side. Under the seal is a small circle filled with what looks like some kind of vegetation, a familiar motif in Prades' work, and something we'll see again once we open the deck. There are other circular forms in the background, some that could even be read as eyes or pupils. The design wraps to either side of the case. On the bottom of the front, it reads Anika. There is a lot to unpack here, so bear with me. Let's start with the name. Anika is an essential Buddhist doctrine. It's part of the three marks of existence. It stands for impermanence, the constant flow of the universe, that central idea that everything, thought, matter, life, and energy is in a constant fluid state of change. In that way, the imagery on the tuck case starts to make a little bit more sense, right? The girl with the outstretched arms is very much alive, and the skulls underneath her feet are very much not. And the foliage in the circle above her head represents the life cycle of the earth, maybe. You know, there's another possibility, and it's a little darker. Maybe the girl in the white dress represents innocence surrounded by darkness, the impermanent nature of innocence being the central idea, and perhaps in that way the blood erupting from her represents the death of innocence. Wow, that is some heavy stuff. The back of the tuck box features a representation of the card backs that takes the dark skull imagery even further. There are 6 skulls on the two-way back surrounding what I think is most likely the image of an eye staring at us. It's a creepy design to be sure, but honestly it's pretty cool. Skulls are extremely popular as a motif among playing card designers. So popular, in fact, that they've pretty much passed into cliche at this point. But I think in this case, aside from the strongly rendered artwork, there's reason to them beyond just, the cool associations we usually make. Maybe I took my art history lessons a little too seriously when I was in school, but honestly, when I can look at a deck and see something more than just art or design, that's when I really build a strong relationship with the cards. Let me know if you agree. Speaking of the cards, the deck has a very thin poker border surrounding the design on the backs, and the design itself is actually pretty cool, especially in giant fans, where the skulls make a nice repeating pattern. More on the handling shortly. The girl in the white dress makes a reappearance on the jokers, one in black ink, the other in metallic blue. There is a double backer and a card experiment ad card that features a lot of the same visuals found elsewhere. The indices, pips, and placement are all custom as well. The font is a bit smaller than standard, still legible. The same is true of the pips. Both the pips and indices include a graphic pattern overlaid into them that gives each pip and number a more unique feel. The court cards are based on traditional bicycle courts, yet recolored in the palette of the deck's pastel metallic blues and pinks. The border surrounding the courts is more elaborate, and the designs have been further customized with the inclusion of the circular motif at the center of each card, no doubt to represent the cyclical nature of Anika. The aces are big and bold and feature more of the wilting vegetation we saw on the box. The deck handles how you would expect a USPCC deck to handle, which is great. The deck farrows back to front and features premium stock with magic finish. The high contrast backs make for interesting patterns and flourishing. If I have a single criticism of the Anika deck, it's this. Having seen the amazing artwork of Simon Prades, specifically his mastery of color, I'm a little disappointed by the narrow palette of this deck. Still, I'm looking forward to the next deck he designs in hopes that he embraces some of that vibrancy I saw in some of his other work. Moving on, I'm privileged to know that some of you guys out there are magicians, and I bet many of you, magicians or not, may have heard of the man behind the next deck we're going to look at right now. It's a name you might even recognize from national TV. Shin Lim is, at the time of filming of this show, currently a finalist on America's Got Talent, and on the off chance that you're watching this, good luck Shin Lim. In fact, you may have even won. Shin is a highly skilled illusionist and card manipulator, so it makes sense that he would design his own deck of cards. The White Regalias are the latest deck from Shin Lim, a follow-up to his previous Black edition. I wasn't lucky enough to snatch up that earlier offering, but when the White Regalias were announced, I certainly took notice. The White Regalia deck was designed by Nick Vlo and printed by Cards XIII. The tuck box is a unique slipcase design that features high-quality white matte cardstock, gold foil, and a white ribbon pull tab on the top. The front of the box features the Regalia branding, the words "Luxury Playing Cards," a small crown symbol, and the image of the two-headed eagle. The two-headed eagle is a symbol that dates back centuries and most associated with the Roman Empire. In fact, it's come to be a representation of the concept of empires. It's a prevalent design found in Eastern Europe as well. In fact, this deck is said to be inspired by Russian folk art. The back of the box features Shin Lim's SNL logo with the skinny tie design bisecting the two letters. Pulling on the tab reveals the inner box and a full-sized representation of the back design and a much larger version of the two-headed eagle seen on the slipcase. As all Cards XIII decks, the cards inside come wrapped in an extra layer of cellophane. The back design is a one-to-one copy of the one on the inner slipcase. It's hot stamped foil and highly reflective and gives the design a raised, tactile feel. The design itself is very much influenced by Russian folk art. There are leafy golden vines surrounding a center floral circle. The two-headed eagles return at either end, and the stamping process does leave an artifact on the front of the cards, however, and I'm not sure if it's completely visible to the camera, but the general outline of the stamping can be seen on the face of the cards, which is unfortunate. It's most visible on the included blank card, which incidentally makes the blank fan trick taught to us by Pigcake in another video easy to pull off with this deck as well. Also good for magic is a duplicate Queen of Hearts, which is included as well. There are two identical jokers, again featuring the two-headed eagle. They have an R for Regalia in the corners instead of the usual joker. The spot cards are very close to standard. The pips are slightly refined, a little bit smaller as well. The court cards are traditional bicycle courts despite the deck being printed by Cards XIII, and they have been recolored of course. The deck has some additional magician-friendly features. For one thing, the cards come in a deck order stack that I believe is proprietary to Shin Lim. A single cut can arrange the 4 aces in sequence, which I'm sure can come in handy. The final feature is disguised as a purely aesthetic one. Again, I'm unsure if the camera can pick this up, but the card backs are so tightly packed with reflective features that focusing one's eyes beyond the design allows them to be used almost like a small mirror. This of course makes sneaking a peek at the cards selected via a dribble, for instance, incredibly easy. Because the pip layout and courts are standard, it's just a matter of recognizing them. It's not difficult at all. Of course, spectators could catch on. With regards to handling, the deck is printed using the B9 True Linen finish we've seen previously with the Copac 310 decks. This is a thick but flexible stock, very comfortable to flourish and shuffle. The foil backs don't detract from the handling either. Fans are easy, as are springs. The deck is great for just about any use. The foil backs make them shine brightly for cardistry and will impress the poker buddies on game night. Magicians will appreciate the magic-friendly features. All 3 of the decks highlighted in this episode can still be purchased on playingcarddecks.com. But even with the 10% off you'd get from using promo code Gentleman10, you'd still be paying about $8 more for it than the people who signed up for the August PIP Box Club did. All 3 decks were included for just $29.99. It's a great price. That's the price of the standard PIP box. There are some additional options, including a 6-deck version of the box that's an even better value. The way Will has set it up is that there's always an included Bicycle branded deck in the box, as well as a newly released deck. At least 2 of the decks will always be USPCC printed. It's really a great deal. Unfortunately, Gentleman 10 does not give you a discount on the PIP Box Club, but included in the box is a promo code you can use to get additional savings on future deck orders. In fact, guys, just see the link in the description below for full details. I'm not doing it justice. Incidentally, he also includes a nice assortment of random samples of other decks Will Roya offers for sale in his boxes. You see some folks on forums like United Cardists actively trade them in the effort of Frankensteining a full deck from the samples. It's just a little added game, a little more value. In the meantime, you've got a chance to win a brand new White Regalia deck from me. I'll give you those details in a second. Special thanks to Will Roya and PlayingCardDecks.com for supplying the PIP boxes that I reviewed in this video. Congratulations to Aaron Graves, winner of the Helius Sun decks. Contact me, Aaron, to claim your prize. On the subject of giveaways, here's what you got to do to qualify for the White Regalia drawing. 1. Like this video. 2. Be a subscriber to this channel. And 3. Comment below and let me know what draws you to playing cards. Are you a collector, a magician, a cardist, just a fan? Next time on the show, we premiere the Gentlemanly Top 10. In fact, this episode marks the end of season 1 of my channel. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Well, I guess technically we are. We're moving, which means the next time you see the study, it might look a little different. Not too different, just a little different. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to click here to subscribe. And if you want to see another video, click here. As always, I've been the Gentleman Wake, and I hope to see you guys back here again next time.